In today's video, how to go from lean to frickin' shredded. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, I'm gonna break down a few things about the process of going from lean. And when I talk about lean for men, I'm talking about 10-12% body fat, some nice visible abs, really good separation, probably some good vascularity. We're gonna talk about how to go from that to being absolutely shredded. And for men, we're talking about striated glutes, lower abdomen, love handles are gone, right? There is no body fat left on our body that's visible, right? We're seeing vascularity in weird places. We're seeing our cheekbones and our face pop out. We're seeing hamstring splits, even you know, vascularity in the lower body in places like the hamstrings, and sometimes I get, you know, lat veins and stuff like that when I'm close to this. And let's call it 5% body fat. You can call it 4 or 8%, whatever you want to call it, because there's a lot of different ways to kind of measure body fat when you get there. And for women, it's probably about 10%. You know, I've seen some women come in at 9 or 8% body fat. That is absolutely shredded for a female. And what you're seeing there with women is you're seeing cap delts, complete points. You're seeing the glute hamstring tie-in completely separated again with the core just super tight. And let's talk about a few things, okay? What's the point of going from lean to shredded? Because I'll say there are some pretty considerable negatives to getting that lean. The point for most people is going to be either a competition or a photo shoot, or in some instances, some people just like to challenge themselves. I've had clients that just wanted to get to that look. They had no interest in getting on stage. And while that's admirable, I think if you're going to try to get that look, you should probably have a very, very serious goal. And so that brings me to my first point of this video, is that having a goal is paramount, okay? Because there is no reason to get from lean to shredded. Hell, for most of us, even just maintaining a lean physique is gonna take a considerable amount of decision making, of kind of restriction, of not allowing ourselves to just kind of blow out on the weekends. If you wanna stay lean, around that 10 to 12% body fat for men with nice abs, that's gonna take a pretty good amount of restriction, right? So let's talk about how we get there. And the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to setting a goal is my transformation challenge. The Pro Physique Transformation Challenge Part 2 is coming up. Now, last time we gave away $5,000. We had over 1,000 people enter. Very exciting. We had an amazing private group on Facebook. Well, this time, I'm happy to say we're giving away $50,000. That's right. We're bumping it way up. This time it's powered by Core Nutritionals. That's right, my supplement sponsor is now going to be sponsoring this transformation challenge, and we're giving away, including in your entry fee, is meal plans from a registered dietitian, training plans from exercise scientists, this amazing group of people, and we're gonna be doing weekly live Q&A answers in the private Facebook group, okay? It's just gonna be an amazing experience, and it's gonna be 90 days long. And so the details are coming out, but what I'm gonna do is put a link below. Click that link, just put your email in, and we're gonna send you all the information about how to register, how to sign up. It's happening soon, and there's gonna be an early bird period to sign up where you pay less. There's gonna be a late registration where you pay a little bit more, and that's fine. Some people last time were locked out of the contest. We're gonna try to make sure everybody gets in at this time. But the big key here is, do you see what happened to these winners? Do you see what happened to the people? I'll try to put some pictures on the screen here, the before and afters. Why? Why are they able to reach their goals? Well, obviously they're dedicated individuals, but that's the first thing about how do you go from lean to shredded. You have to have the goal. You have to set it in your mind. It has to become a priority. Now, for someone like me who loves to get on a bodybuilding stage every couple of years, who loves to coach competitors, I get it. You don't have to convince me. A lot of people will say, well, like, that's a waste of time. Well, I think a lot of people don't understand it, and they don't have to. I don't understand why people like to get in their car and do a quarter mile in 10 seconds or whatever it is. Like that to me is a strange thing. You know, Arnold said this, and it's about what you enjoy. And I think there's no harm. In fact, I think it's a great like life lesson. Can you do something that very few people can do? So you don't have to convince me. But a transformation challenge, the one that we're doing here starting in January, is a great way to do it. Now for me, what was my first time getting shredded? It was a bodybuilding show. That's right. In 2007, I attended a show and I said, you know what? Next year I'm doing the show. I gave myself an entire year. I spent the majority of that year in a building phase where I was focused on putting on muscle. But guess what? As the show approached and I got into prep, I had to change my life. And this is really what it takes to go from lean to shredded. Now I'm gonna get into the specifics of calories, cardio, diet breaks and all that, but I'm just trying to give you the psychological, mental outlook because it starts there. At least it did for me. I had to start tracking my diet. I had to be very particular with what I was doing. But outside of that, it was the outside influences for me. I was a very social person. I was 31 years old and I knew like, I loved going out with my friends on the weekends, having fun, partying, traveling, going on trips, doing all these things. I was a very social person. So for me, it was really about changing my lifestyle, okay? One of the main things I did was I cut alcohol back, almost completely out, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I had an alcoholic drink for the last 4 or 5 months before my show. So what did I do? I would still go out with my friends and I would just drink caffeine drinks that had no calories, things like, you know, Diet Red Bulls and Diet Mountain Dew. So I would actually be out with my friends having fun. Something else fun happened. I would wake up the next morning, not tired, not hungover, get up, go to the gym, do my cardio, practice my posing, crush my workouts, hit my meals, plan it, and guess what? That was the leap for me to go from a guy who's in shape to a guy who is ridiculously shredded, who literally every single person that would see me at the gym would stop me and say, what are you doing differently? I have news for you. Wasn't doing that much differently. I was still eating very well, still doing some cardio, but I had dedicated myself for months to get this body fat off, okay? So the first thing you need is the mental outlook that this is your priority. Otherwise, you won't get it done. Now, that can be a photo shoot, that can be a vacation, that can be a bodybuilding show, a transformation challenge, whatever it is, but something's gotta click in you that says, I'm going to do this no matter what other people want me to do. Now let's talk about calories. Now when you're lean, your calories are going to be a little bit restricted. You know, if you're lucky, maybe you're eating a ton of calories. Maybe you're eating, and I'm talking pounds here, but 20 times your body weight in calories, right? To start. And then you get down to say like 10 times your body weight in calories. I know my calories get around 2,000 calories when I'm shredded and I'm over 200 pounds, right? So if you're able to do that, if you're able to get your calories down to there, I think we have these limitations. And so this is what I'd like to say to you. Remove the limitations for what you need to do to get shredded. Don't listen to the naysayers, okay? A lot of people are gonna tell you, oh, if you do this, you're losing muscle. Oh, if you do this. There's gonna be times when you're going from lean to shredded where you don't look good. You don't feel good, okay? Getting body fat that low is not an easy process, and there's a time that you have to be able to just be depleted, okay? And so that for me was the biggest struggle. As a guy who had always focused on the scale going up, putting on muscle, seeing the scale go down to numbers I didn't expect, doing cardio that I didn't think I was gonna have to do, that was the difficult part. So let's talk a little bit about that. So you get your calories down to a place where they're kind of restricted and you start to wonder, am I losing muscle? Well, here's the thing. You're not losing muscle if you're keeping your protein stable, if you're training hard in the gym. Now, you might actually think you're losing muscle because you're losing strength, or at least relative strength. But as long as you're training hard and eating well, and what I mean by eating well is keeping that protein right, getting enough fats throughout the day. You know, my threshold for fats for myself is about 40 grams. I will not go below 40 grams, 45 grams for myself. For women, it's about the same. You know, 30 to 35 grams is about the basement I will go. I will dip the calories down as far as carbs go. Now for myself, I like to give you guys a number. Half of your weight in carbs is about the basement I'll go in carbs, and I'll explain why. I would much rather keep food a little bit higher. So for myself, when I get down to 100 carbs, that is nothing. I really don't do well on that. I typically will bring my carbs back up to 150 to 200 carbs, and I will increase my cardiovascular activity. I would rather eat more and move more rather than just restrict calories. You'll have people say, hey, you can get shredded without doing any cardio. Yeah, but what fun is that? Cardio is actually enjoyable for me. I like walking. I like being outside. I like doing things. That's cardio. I don't like starving all day. Now, there's gonna be some hunger associated with going from lean to shredded, but there doesn't have to be so much restriction that you're literally starving. If your calories are below 10 times your body weight, in pounds, I know I get a lot of people asking me about that, so you just wanna multiply that times 2.2 for kilos, but the point is, once they get down there, I feel there's a law of diminishing returns. You start to actually be so low on nutrients that things start to get compromised in your health. Whereas, you can actually bring up the cardio and just do more walking, especially low intensity walking when you're that lean, and there's really no limits, okay? You're not losing muscle. You're gonna be able to perform in the gym, you're gonna eat enough calories to build and keep muscle, and you're just gonna keep moving. As an example, I did nothing but incline walking for my last prep in 2018. Subsequently, I had the best season I ever had, winning an overall in an NPC show and coming in second in the world in men's physique in my class for natural men's physique world championships. And so I had such a great season, and it felt a lot easier because I didn't do any high intensity cardio, not required. I didn't do any type of crazy food restriction, not required, okay? I did flexible dieting. So the last thing I want to talk about is going from lean to shredded that you need to do, and that is to keep refeeds higher and do diet breaks. Now, I've done many videos on what a diet break is and what a refeed is, but essentially what I want to explain is that the leaner you get, the more frequency you need to have refeeds and diet breaks. Now, a diet break is essentially bringing your calories up to maintenance, bringing your cardio down to maintenance. So as an example, let's say I'm at 250 protein, 200 carb, and 50 fat, and I'm doing 90 minutes of cardio a day. That's a lot, but that's when I'm shredded. That's when I'm 6-7% body fat, right? What would a diet break look like for me? Well, I would actually bring my protein down a little bit, probably to 220. Why? Carbohydrates are protein sparing. I'd bring my carbs up to say 400 to 450. So I went from 200 to 400, almost double, right? And I'd bring my fat up maybe 5 or 10 grams, just a little bit. What would I do with my cardio? Cut it right in half, 45 minutes. That's a diet break, okay? Now those numbers, you'd think like, Paul, well, you're probably gonna gain weight. The beauty of a diet break is because your body starts to recover hormonally, metabolically, metabolism improves, sleep improves, recovery improves, you actually start to have more NEAT or non-exercise activity. You see moving my hands right here? When I'm shredded, when I'm doing a video, my hands stay right here and I become very monotone. You start to conserve energy. So although it seems like you're eating a lot more calories and doing less cardio, you're actually doing an exchange where you start to move more, digest better, feel better. And most of the time, my competitors maintain weight during a diet break. But guess what? You can also lose weight. I've seen people get leaner during a diet break. And guess what we do? If after one full week of a diet break, you're leaner, keep it going. Allow the body to improve and get better. Ideally, when you're this lean, not this lean, I ain't that lean, but when you're that shredded lean, you start to walk food up, you maintain your condition, and my friend Dr. Joe calls that metabolic building. That is a magical place to be. That's where I try to get all my competitors. Food going up, cardio down, and staying stage lean. Now, it doesn't mean you're gonna always feel good because you're still lean. No matter what you do when you're 5% body fat, you're gonna be hungry and irritable and tired between meals and these kind of things. But I think that's the biggest advice I can give anyone that's trying to go from lean to shredded. Remove the limitations, set a very powerful goal that you want to achieve, and make sure you're keeping up with your protein, make sure you're keeping up with your training. You're not losing muscle. What's happening is between your ears. You're worried about losing muscle, okay? We've seen the research, we've seen the studies, case studies of natural bodybuilders going through the prep process. They didn't lose lean body mass. No, they did not. They lost body fat, and they had some issues hormonally that returned after you put body fat back on. But that's a part of the process as well. So you have to expect that if you're going from lean to shredded, there is going to be a change in how your body responds. And I've done those videos as well. I've done a bunch of videos on just what to expect when you're getting shredded. But that's a part of it. It's a part of the process, and that's why so few have the mental capacity to get there. It's not always the physical part that's tough. Our bodies can handle an immense amount of stress. It's our minds that usually give up before that. So that's it. I don't want to scare anybody, but I love prep and I can't wait to do it again. Probably going to be a couple years just because life has been so hectic and I got so much stuff going on and I want to make sure I'm better. So I'm going to be better. So maybe 2022. But I am going to be doing the Transformation Challenge because guess what? Last Transformation Challenge, I went from 235 to 222. I lost about 13 pounds in 90 days. Guess what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to go from around 225, 222, where I'm at right now. I'm going to get down to 210 or under. So I'm going to go from healthy to lean. That's right. I'm not going to go to shredded because I'm not getting on stage, but I am going to go to lean and I'm going to document that. So click the link below. Make sure you get registered for the Transformation Challenge. I can't wait to be a part of it with you guys. Let's go. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. Talk to you tomorrow.